What's up? You. Yeah.
And did you intend to kill him?
Oh yeah.
And did you think about whether or not?
What happens when the walls of justice crumble and chaos takes over the very place meant to uphold order? Imagine a courtroom filled with tension, suddenly turning into a battleground as convicts lash out, attacking the presiding judge. What triggers such explosive violence in a place where the rule of law is sacred? Stay tuned as we delve into the dramatic moments of convicts attacking a judge in court and their consequences. As a result of his wild outburst, Newsom received additional charges for contempt of court and spent 48 hours in jail. Our next case centers on Daniel Stewart Berry, a 21-year-old business major facing strong-arm robbery charges in Mississippi. According to reports, Daniel robbed a store by jumping over the counter, putting a female clerk in a headlock, and grabbing $20 from the cash register.
So you have a Neanderthal that went to Ole Miss University. He's a business major. Now, he was arrested for robbing a local convenience store.
But the drama didn't stop there. After his arrest, Daniel's behavior spiraled out of control. While being escorted to court, Berry lost it, and this happened.
What's up? You. Yeah.
He headbutted and broke the nose of a Union County deputy. Officers quickly restrained him and placed him in custody. The sheriff later revealed that Daniel was likely under the influence of drugs and had even attacked a jail worker the night before.
How much he's taken or whatever, but we'll have to get him evaluated by a doctor, but we've got to determine a safe way to do it.
As a result of his actions, Daniel was hit with additional charges for assaulting a law enforcement officer. His bond was set at $200,000. Juan Rodriguez, accused of a violent crime, shocked everyone during his bond hearing in Miami, Florida. In 2010, Rodriguez allegedly stabbed a nurse named Naden Morris at a mental health center where he lived. He claimed she stole from him, leading to the attack. Now in court on an attempted murder charge, Rodriguez didn't waste time causing a scene.
Oh, we're doing out of turn. Sorry about that. Didn't give you a heads up.
1 second. He cannot be there when I talk to you.
What do you say?
This guy cannot be there when I talk to you.
But things only got worse when the judge ignored him. Then, in a shocking twist, he threatened the judge.
The public defender.
No, I don't need it. Listen to me. You don't let me out of here, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm a Jew. I'm gonna take your fucking life if you don't let me out of here. Okay? I'm done.
So
now let's eat breakfast. The rabbi's cooking.
Rodriguez even tried to storm out of the courtroom, but was brought back. He continued yelling and demanding to be released.
murder, first degree. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender, seeing as that he doesn't appear to be in a condition to respond
What do you want?
appropriately.
What's your pleasure? What do you want from me? Where's Sabina? Where the fuck is she?
Finding probable.
What's her phone number?
Despite all this, Judge Beatrice Bico stayed cool and calm. She decided Rodriguez wasn't in the right mindset to represent himself and assigned him a public defender. She then firmly denied his request for release.
Setting no bond. Okay. Thank you, corrections. Probable cause, no bond. Appoint the public defender.
Even after threatening her, the judge didn't let Rodriguez's behavior distract her. At Kalkaska District Court in Michigan, Keith Ferguson was arraigned for the double murder of his wife and father-in-law in November 2014. The 40-year-old man first killed his estranged wife, Tiffany, at her home in Colt Springs Township, while their 4 children watched in terror. After the brutal act, Ferguson took the children to their grandfather's house, where he shot and killed 63-year-old James Weber. The children managed to escape during the chaos, but Ferguson barricaded himself in a house with a hostage before police arrived and arrested him. Investigators believed the murders were fueled by Ferguson's anger over a divorce case that Tiffany had filed. At his arraignment, Ferguson was defiant and disrespectful. He openly lashed out at the judge, refusing to follow basic court procedures. When asked to stand and raise his hand, he mocked the courtroom and refused to cooperate.
There at the podium, please. All right, I need to have you raise your right hand for me.
I'm leaving this
Okay,
part.
all right.
Just pull me back from my cell.
Okay, stop.
Right?
The prosecution didn't hold back, arguing for the highest bond possible.
He's already murdered and murdered multiple people and fled and has taken hostages Based on that information, there's no doubt in my mind that this particular defendant has a high risk of non-appearance or danger to the public.
The judge agreed, citing Ferguson's violent actions, including home invasion, kidnapping, and murder. Ferguson's bond was set at a staggering $10 million. At his plea hearing, Ferguson's rebellious behavior continued. He refused to explain his actions, telling the court. His defiance disrupted the hearing several times, forcing the judge to call for breaks. Eventually, Ferguson pleaded guilty to first and second-degree murder. When asked if he had planned the killings, he admitted without hesitation.
Did you intend to kill him?
Go ahead.
And did you think about whether or not you wanted to kill him and make a deliberate choice to do so?
Go ahead. Put half a magazine in that.
During sentencing, a close friend of Tiffany delivered a powerful statement. The friend pleaded with the court to give Ferguson the harshest punishment. When given a chance to speak, Ferguson showed no remorse.
You can't give me the death penalty? I'll see y'all in hell.
Judge George Mertz condemned Ferguson's actions, stating,
Intentionally depriving an elderly woman of her husband, her mate for life, unfortunately of her mother, to satisfy your own selfish urges.
Justice.
Is something that deserves the most important and serious punishment.
In the end, Ferguson was sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of parole. His crimes and courtroom behavior left a lasting mark on the community, but justice was served. We moved to Wayne County Court, Michigan, where Ike Smith is convicted for multiple sexual assaults committed over a 6-year period. Ike Smith, a man from Detroit, Michigan, went on a terrifying crime spree that lasted 6 years. Starting in 2011, Smith attacked and assaulted people in 9 different neighborhoods, with over 34 victims. He was finally caught when a security camera caught him trying to break into someone's home. Police also found his DNA on a cigarette butt left on a victim's bed.
More breaking news now. The man accused in a series of sex assaults and home invasions in Metro Detroit has just pleaded guilty. Ike Smith.
Smith was charged with breaking into homes and assaulting people. At his trial, many brave survivors came forward to share their stories.
Go through the fear that all of us went through. Being woken up in the middle of the night with a knife to our throats and taken advantage of. And I hope that he gets that every night.
One woman said Smith climbed through her window, leaned over her and whispered,
Ordeals. He said, "Stop, what are you doing? Get off of me."
I pleaded with him, told him that I had money upstairs.
2 women, both claiming they were awakened by Smith in their houses in the middle of the night.
Stop screaming or I'm going to kill you. So that was another thing I said to get him off of me, was I'm going to stop screaming. So
This was how Smith operated, sneaking into homes through open windows and attacking sleeping victims. Another victim shared how she used religion to chase him away.
In circles, and he said, "Why did I pick this house? Why did I pick this house?" And I said to him, I said, "Maybe it's because God wanted you to hear a message, and he's using me to deliver that message to you."
One survivor, already a victim of another assault in the past, begged Smith to stop, hoping he would show mercy. At first he backed off, but he quickly changed his mind and forced her to do as he wanted. Halfway through the trial, Smith admitted he was guilty of all the charges. During his sentencing, the survivors spoke about how his actions had forever changed their lives.
Mr. Smith made a choice to come into my home on November 24, 2014. He made a choice to forcefully violate me and set into motion a series of events that drastically altered my life, and not only mine, but those of the people.
The judge, Dalton Robertson, didn't hold back. He called Smith a danger to the community.
I don't think that the guidelines mete out enough punishment for him. I want him to have to face up to what he's done.
He's pathological. He's serial. I don't think he knows how to stop.
He is a danger to the community. He's a danger to women. He just cannot resist.
When Smith tried to speak, the judge shut him down, which made Smith angry and swear in court.
No, go back. Your Honor. Well, it's okay with me. Good luck to you, buddy.
In the end, Smith was sentenced to 55 to 80 years in prison. This means he'll spend most, if not all, of his life behind bars. Spencer Allen Boston was at the Wilson County Courthouse in Tennessee facing a drug charge. According to the report, police said they stopped him during a traffic stop and gave him a citation for simple possession of marijuana.
Mr. Boston, he said he wants to represent himself in this case. I told him today was just an arraignment. It's either guilty, not guilty by day. To which he responded, I just want to plead my case to the court.
Boston was trying to argue his case.
Start talking, son. Yes, sir. I think it's very unfair, the marijuana law here. I think we the people deserve better because marijuana is a very harmless drug and it's been around for ages, since the 80s and 90s.
I've heard that.
But the judge wasn't interested in hearing about marijuana laws.
No one seems to notice until, shockingly, he lights up. And this time it's noticed immediately.
Hey! We the people deserve better.
As the judge was getting busy setting a trial date, Boston decided to take matters into his own hands. In a shocking move, Boston pulled out a joint and lit it up right in front of the judge. The court bailiffs quickly moved in to restrain him, but Boston didn't stop. He held the burning joint up to the gallery, shouting,
Boston may have finally pleaded his case.
Hey! We the people deserve better.
But he's immediately taken away.
For his bold actions, Boston was sent to jail for 10 days for contempt of court and was hit with an additional charge for possessing marijuana. The next case takes us to the Dayton Municipal Courthouse in Ohio, where 28-year-old Callan Wood was facing charges for misdemeanor domestic violence. During a pre-trial hearing, Callan stood next to a public defender whose name wasn't shared by the court. She asked the magistrate for a new attorney, and her request was approved. As officers began escorting her out of the courtroom, things took an unexpected turn. While passing the public defender, Callan suddenly threw a punch. No one saw it coming. Even though she was in handcuffs and surrounded by security, she managed to catch everyone off guard. Officers quickly stepped in and began leading her out of the room. But that wasn't the end of it. On her way out, Callan reportedly threatened to kill the magistrate. Luckily, the public defender wasn't physically hurt by the punch, but Callan's actions had serious consequences. She was hit with new charges, including intimidation, misdemeanor assault, and retaliation, on top of her original domestic violence charge. When she returned to court later, her bond was set at $100,000. Callan was found guilty of all the charges related to her outburst and sentenced to 5 years of probation. However, her original domestic violence charges were dropped. In Bakersfield, California, 27-year-old Tobias Roman stood before the court for his arraignment. He was facing some serious charges, including attempted robbery, making threats, and showing a deadly weapon. These accusations came from an incident where he allegedly stalked a female employee at a shopping mall. Right from the start, the hearing didn't go smoothly. When the judge asked Roman to stand, it took him a moment to cooperate.
Roman, stand up.
My foot hurts. I can't stand up right now. I'm right here.
Stand up, Roman.
What?
This is BF1.
Once he was on his feet, the judge asked a simple question.
Mr. Roman, what is your true and correct name?
Tobias, my first name. That's it. Giggles or Tobias. That's it. Don't call me nothing else.
Samson Roman is present in the courthouse. Is Yasmin Medina present?
Roman's street name is Giggles, but nothing about his situation was a laughing matter. The judge assigned him a public defender and started reading the charges. But before he could finish, Roman interrupted. The judge wasn't having it.
Defender to represent Mr. Roman. The charges, Mr. Roman, are attempted robbery. Hey, Mr. Roman, you need to be quiet.
Yeah, you need to be quiet.
You got one more chance and then you're going to be removed from the courtroom. And that'll be your choice. Don't talk.
Roman stayed quiet for a second, but it didn't last. As officers led him out of the courtroom, Roman shouted a shocking threat. The judge didn't miss a word.
I'm gonna murder you when I see you.
I'd like to note for the record, Mr. Roman's statement on the record that he will murder me if he sees me, and I'm going to request law enforcement take the appropriate action. He's charged with threatening with the intent to terrorize, exhibiting a deadly weapon other than a firearm, and stalking. He's chosen to remove himself and voluntarily absent himself from the court proceedings in light of his behavior. Would you like to make
In the end, Roman pleaded no contest to threatening a public official and was sentenced to 8 months in prison. Most of the other charges were dropped, but for making terrorizing threats, he received an additional 3 years behind bars. In Racine, Wisconsin, convicted felon Sean Riker appeared in court for a pre-sentencing hearing. Riker had been found guilty of 16 crimes against his own family, including sexual assault, child abuse, and reckless endangerment. Already facing a life sentence, Riker's criminal history includes 12 years in federal prison for setting off several pipe bombs in Utah. This time, Riker was in court to waive his right to be present for sentencing. However, he didn't show up quietly. Escorted by a heavily armed security team, Riker was shackled and wearing a spit mask due to his history of escaping from jail and resisting court security. Once inside, things got heated fast. Riker immediately began shouting at Judge Wayne Merrick.
Idea, Merrick? Oh, you got me looking like a clown? Stupid punk. Merrick.
Riker threatened the prosecution team. He made it clear he didn't fear the consequences.
Gonna do about it either. You know why? Because this is a state that doesn't have the death penalty. You're gonna sentence me to life? Don't give a Don't give a I'm getting mine, you
Not stopping with the judge, Riker turned his fury on the prosecutor, screaming insults and more obscenities.
You this that punk. What the do you want?
Security eventually removed him from the courtroom. As Riker requested, he did not show up for his own sentencing. He was sentenced to 200 years in state prison. Bryce Rhodes appeared in court for a bond hearing. Rhodes was already facing serious charges, including the murders of 3 people, 2 of them teenagers. Since his arrest, he has been known for unpredictable and violent behavior. Because of this, he was brought into court restrained and wearing a spit mask. The hearing didn't go smoothly. Rhodes kept interrupting the judge even though he was told several times to stop talking. He didn't listen and made the situation worse.
Mr. Rhodes, you can just bring him up right here.
Why y'all have me come out like this for?
I think you know why.
What?
You know exactly why. Now, listen, stop talking. You have been... Are you done?
No, I'm done.
You've been charged with assault in the 4th degree. I'm going to keep talking because I don't want to have to see you back here for this.
The judge explained Rhodes's new charges, which included assault in the 4th degree, terroristic threatening in the 3rd degree, and physical contact during an incident. The judge entered a plea of not guilty for Rhodes and set his bond at $15,000 full cash.
What you think that?
So you're saying you're going to find out where I live at?
You got something, I'll be up.
Okay. You've been charged with assault in the 4th degree, minor injury, terroristic threatening in the 3rd degree, and physical contact. I am setting a bond of $15,000 full cash on those charges, and the other case, once this actually gets served on you, is going to be dismissed without prejudice as duplicate.
When the judge tried to confirm if Rhodes wanted a lawyer, Rhodes kept arguing and talking over the court. Eventually, the judge appointed a public defender to represent him.
Would you like the appointment of a public defender? I just said that. I just said that. But would you like an attorney? Okay. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office.
As Rhodes was being wheeled out of the courtroom, he made a threatening comment. After he left, the judge spoke to the prosecutor and stated,
Ms. Schroring, that was a threat against the court. I think that I'm asking the county attorney's office to take that into account and consider what...
Because of his behavior in court, Rhodes was charged with terroristic threatening in the 3rd degree and intimidating someone involved in the legal process. In Daytona Beach, Florida, Alan McCarty is charged with making death threats against a judge. He wrongly believes the judge took his children away in a child custody case.
Yeah, I want to report a crime that's about to happen.
What do you mean a crime that's about to happen?
Yeah, there's about to be a crime that's going to happen if my kids don't come back to me, you stupid because your stupid judges don't want to bring people to courtrooms. I got a gun pointed at your building.
Sir, what is going on?
Who the you calling, sir, you stupid? Where's your judge warrant at? You going to bring that out in handcuffs and I'm going to execute that son of a in the street. I'm letting you know I'm going to shoot this. You gonna shoot my kids.
Where are you at, sir?
I just told you I'm outside of her building waiting for her to get there in the morning. I'm gonna pop a cap in that.
The Volusia County Sheriff's Office receives an anonymous call, and detectives track down the caller. McCarty is arrested, and a year later, his trial begins in front of a new judge. During the trial, McCarty refuses to be sworn in, shouting,
President, he's under oath from the start of the trial.
No, I'm not under oath.
He accuses the court of threatening him, taking his children unfairly, and not letting him present his witnesses or paperwork.
I didn't appreciate that, but go ahead, I'm gonna swear.
You're still going to threaten me like you did the other day?
Threaten you to participate here?
No, you threatened my life the other day.
Thank you.
I am not under oath. This is being done unconstitutionally. Y'all took my kids unrightfully. You want to allow my witnesses here? You won't allow my paperwork. Y'all took all my court paperwork. And when they all come in here, I'm going to say the same thing. So let's bring them in. Well, wasting my time and bring them in so I can tell them the same thing.
The judge tries to keep things calm, but McCarty keeps shouting and using bad language. McCarty continues to swear and make threats, refusing to follow the court's instructions.
I have not been sworn in at all. You're a liar.
Thank you very much, sir. That being said, we're ready to go ahead and proceed with that.
No, we are not.
So that being said,
Although McCarty decides to stay for witness testimony, he keeps acting out and is ordered to leave.
number one, I need to know whether or not you want to be here during the trial process.
No.
All right. Do you want to testify then?
No, I don't. This is all being done unconstitutionally, unrightfully. Y'all are you ain't allowing my evidence. You ain't allowing my people.
We haven't started the trial yet.
It doesn't matter. You still deny it.
Later, McCarty is found guilty and returns the next month for sentencing. The judge talks about McCarty's bad behavior during the trial, including threatening the prosecutor's unborn child. McCarty denies the accusations and keeps shouting insults.
McCarty's chosen to voluntarily absent himself as opposed to sorry, we got to deal with it, folks. I've chosen that room as opposed to duct tape.
McCarty is sentenced to 15 years in prison for one charge and 5 years for another, to be served one after the other. In total, McCarty will spend 20 years in Florida State Prison. He is currently serving his sentence there. We head to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where 56-year-old Jeffrey Bloom is in court for an arraignment. He's facing charges of domestic violence. Bloom is standing in front of Magistrate James Cameron.
Please, Jeffrey Bloom. All right, Mr. Bloom. We're here today on a felony complaint.
The judge explains. Bloom seems confused and stated,
"Asked me to do that." Yes, sir. I don't know why I'm being arraigned without having an attorney anyway.
The judge calmly explains.
It's the first opportunity that you've got to have the court to appoint an attorney for you. That's why.
Bloom still looks puzzled and asks,
Yes, this is an arraignment on a felony complaint. Aren't I supposed to have an attorney present during my arraignment? Yes, you are, if you want one. If you can't afford an attorney, the court will appoint one for you. Yes, Your Honor. The question to you is, do you want me to do that? Yes, Your Honor. Okay, now we're cooking. Now you have an...
The judge assigns a public defender, Silvana Reed, to the case. Now they can continue with the hearing. The charge is a misdemeanor, which usually means a small punishment, up to 93 days in jail or a $500 fine. But because this is Bloom's third offense, it turns into a felony, which could mean up to 5 years in prison or a $5,000 fine. Bloom is already on probation for another assault charge. His lawyer, Reed, asks for a low cash bond and credit for time served, but the prosecutor, Jessica Blanche, argues against the bond.
It has a highly assaultive criminal history. I believe he's a threat to the community, so I'm asking you to deny bond. Thank you.
The judge agrees that Bloom could be a threat to the community and sets his bond at $200,000 cash or surety.
$200,000 cash or surety. What? I believe he does pose a risk to the community. He has a significant assaultive history. Wow.
Bloom is not happy with the decision. He starts arguing the facts of the case, saying,
dating relationship here. I would only.
However, the judge tells him,
Do your case. Okay. This is an arraignment. You tell it to the judge.
but Bloom doesn't stop. He continues speaking, even though Reed tries to stop him. The judge warns him.
Let me talk. Okay? Otherwise, you're just going to be sitting there for a long time.
One more thing, Your Honor, and I'll be quiet. I'll go back. I'll do whatever you say.
Okay, it's your case. Go ahead.
I didn't commit a crime here. She called me.
Just talk about the facts of the case.
Okay, well, this needs to be said.
Bloom.
I know, but you do not need to say it right now. I advise you.
At the end of the hearing, Bloom gets in one last remark, shouting,
You got it. Okay. All right, we're all set. Thank you.
You'll be held accountable. You'll be held accountable.
See ya. Good luck, Ms. Reed.
Thank you.
The judge, tired of the outbursts, dismisses him, saying Bloom is finally taken back into custody. Here at Williamson County Circuit Court in Franklin, Tennessee, where 32-year-old Roger Hathaway is facing a hearing. He's been charged with a bunch of serious crimes, including drug possession, having a gun, evading arrest, and assault. A year ago, Hathaway got into trouble at a hotel. He threatened to shoot a worker after they refused to rent him a room because of past problems. When the police were called, Hathaway ran away, but was caught soon after. The police found a gun, some cocaine, and a gun magazine in a car linked to him. Even though he's been out on a $90,000 bond for the past year, today he's in court for an update on his case. But Hathaway isn't making things easy. He keeps interrupting the court, trying to talk directly to Judge Michael Binkley instead of through his public defender. He yells that a police officer lied and that his rights are being violated. The judge gets frustrated and orders Hathaway to be removed from the courtroom. Just as one deputy opens the door, Hathaway tries to run. The deputies quickly catch him, and a wild struggle breaks out. Public defender Richard Strong gets knocked into the railing, falling to the floor. Court spectators panic and try to get out of the way. Hathaway keeps yelling that he shouldn't be arrested and that he paid his bond. With help from a Department of Corrections officer, the deputies finally get Hathaway under control and take him out of the courtroom. Thankfully, Richard Strong doesn't seem to be seriously hurt. When court resumes, Judge Binkley finds Hathaway guilty of contempt of court and orders him to spend 10 days in jail. Despite everything, Strong still argues on Hathaway's behalf, hoping to keep his bond intact. However, the judge agrees with the prosecutor and revokes Hathaway's bond. He stays in jail, now facing more charges, including 2 counts of assaulting a public servant and resisting arrest. Smith is ready for a busy day of hearings. The next person up is Michael Ray, who is facing 4 serious charges, including criminal trespassing and second-degree assault. Normally, bond hearings don't take long if the defendant is respectful, but Michael isn't making things easy. The prosecutor suggests a bail amount of $25,000 based on Ray's charges and criminal record, but Ray thinks it's too high and responds with sarcasm.
If we bring him back in, he's just gonna get another 30 days for doing something else.
So they move on to the next case.
Judge Smith doesn't find that funny and immediately orders. Ray's sarcasm backfires, and the judge decides to raise his bond to $50,000.
Real credit, danger to community, thinks these are funny charges. I was lucky I didn't hold him in contempt.
Ray just had his bond doubled.
But as Ray walks out of the courtroom, he still isn't done. He mumbles,
I'm holding him in contempt. Adding charges.
Ray's language isn't the only...
His bad attitude and language only make things worse. Ray even gives the judge the middle finger, which really pushes the judge too far. Instead of walking away and keeping quiet, Ray returns again, and this time, the judge has had enough.
Sir, I'm holding you in contempt for what you did.
What's your holding me in?
And so...
You shut man.
All right, you can take him back. 100 days to serve.
100 days to serve? Okay.
Yeah.
For what? Because of 2 EPOs and a criminal mission case?
In just a few minutes, Ray's trouble has grown from 4 charges to 10, all because of his attitude and poor choices. Judge Smith wraps it up with,
Yeah. No, I figure that's just a lesson on what not to do, so you all are good.
Our last case takes us to 4th Circuit Court, Michigan, where Jacob Larson is facing a hearing for breaking a personal protection order. Jacob is accused of sending unwanted Facebook messages to a woman he knew back in high school. These messages were a violation of the restraining order against him. The judge asked Jacob how many of these messages were sent after the restraining order was in place. This is the second time the judge has had to talk to Jacob about his behavior. In fact, the same judge had warned him months earlier to stop contacting the woman.
You know what? I told you to leave her alone. And apparently that didn't get through loud and clear. So today, you're going to jail for 3.
The judge continues. Jacob tries to speak up again, but the judge interrupts.
You know what? You got a bad attitude. You had a bad attitude last time you were in court. You were even referencing discussions about my own daughter. Okay? You're going to...
The judge's frustration is clear as he orders Jacob to stand up.
Try it right now. One more word out of you, it'll be a year of counting. Over Facebook. Over violations of my PPO and your conduct.
Jacob is told to put his hands behind his back.
Stand up. Couple, stand up. Yeah. Buddy, motherfucker. Stand up. You're going to a jail for a year in the county. 365 days county jail. Appeal it. I will. Good. Put your hands behind your back. Now I'll leave you alone.
The judge steps in to help as Jacob is taken away.
Tase his ass right now. Put it down. That's enough for you. All right? Well, get your taser. You know what? I'll bust your fucking arm. Put my hand down like that, yeah.
Jacob is sentenced to 93 days in county jail as a result of his repeated actions. What are your thoughts on these attacks? Share with us in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting videos.